doing today? Our topic today is a little something that I don't know much about, or hardly anything, to be honest. The Ori, it's about, well, from all I know, it is a Yoruban religion, and it has to do with your head and the Orisha. Do you know anything more than that, Shishi? I know Tanya will be joining us in just a minute.
Hey, do you have music playing in your background?
Yeah, is it really loud?
Yeah, I was like, I had no, I didn't know where it was coming from.
Yeah,
I
turn it
thought
down a little bit.
like something started playing on my phone. I was like, what is going on?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I was just like worried. I was like, and so that's why I like pulled the screen down. I was like, is my stereo playing on some unknown music that I have? And I didn't know that's playing from some Apple playlist. And hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. So how was your week, Lynna?
It seems like this week flew by. It's like I did so much and I don't know what the fuck I did. You ever have weeks like that?
I worked this week, so I know exactly. I know exactly what I did. I worked 6 days this week, so.
Well, I drove the van this week, but I didn't actually work. I didn't do any driving for Uber or any readings or anything. I just kind of took off, but it seems like it flew by and like I did so much that I didn't have time to work. But I don't know what I did. I didn't do anything.
What? It could just be the changing of the season, so maybe it was just a lot up there.
I did get my thing from the rabbi. I got my date from the rabbi. So
I saw that. I'm excited for you.
That was exciting. I'm nervous too because now I got to learn a bunch of Hebrew.
Well, go big or go home. You're ready for it.
Right. Did you do anything besides work?
It was a crazy week because I had to buy a new starter for my car, and then finally got my car back, and then 2 days later I had a flat tire. So
when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, but hopefully that's the last one. So hopefully it's done, and life can get back to normal.
I hope so. Whatever it is.
Whatever, yeah, the normal-ish. So I'm off tomorrow, and I'm gonna get a lot of stuff done and go see a friend, and then just kind of try to take a nap and relax. Let me see who's all here.
Poetically Key.
This is not a replay.
Nope, we're live. And I don't know who else because they haven't said anything yet.
Yeah.
But how was your weekend last weekend? Last weekend was a replay. So how was your weekend? I didn't even do a replay last week, did I? I don't think I did.
I don't think you did.
Who knows?
It was Easter weekend. It was nice. My mom made some lamb and some other stuff, and just family gathering. That was it. It was all right. It was pretty late. I'm just in a mode of like,
yeah.
There's been nothing majorly exciting happening as of late.
We did have Passover at the temple. We had like over 120 people there, so it was pretty cool. That's
good.
The first Passover that we've been able to get together in over 3 years because of the pandemic. Well, and the year before the pandemic was construction on the building, so we couldn't have it then.
Have you already been in it for 3 years?
No.
I was like, what? I was like, it's been like a year.
It's a little over a year.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. I thought I was losing time. I was like, what? Hey, Lavetta.
We have lost time because it seems like just last week we were in Oregon.
How was that? You guys had a blast?
We did. We had a lot of fun. We had adventures coming down the mountains. We did some shit and some working stuff. And it was a lot of fun. We got back. It was like, why the hell is everybody fighting over toilet paper? We had no idea. Why is everybody fighting over toilet paper?
Why was everybody fighting over toilet paper?
Because the pandemic started.
Oh, I thought you would. Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about like the weekend with the ghost hunting. Sorry, I was like, wait, what?
Oh, no. We did a live the next morning, the sunrise video. We didn't get to
Yes.
go on the cemetery tour because the guide got ill, and so we weren't able. Hi, Sabrina. You're like my neighbor on the other side. Oh, the link is in the description.
What was I gonna say?
Let me see if I can get
Are
the
we
link.
still going for October? Are we still gonna do ghost hunting in October?
Yeah, we can.
I just need to know because I gotta fly out, so I want to make sure that I don't fly there and then be like for nothing.
Oh no, it won't be for nothing anyway.
I'm like, yo, I flew out to Texas. I'm gonna get me a margarita, I guess, and then just call it a day.
Nah, just shoot straight tequila. You'll be good.
Oh no.
Why
No.
not?
I can't do tequila like that. Not straight tequila. It's nasty. It's too easy. It's nasty.
Hey Tonya, how are you?
I am good. How are you guys?
Good. You're sitting at the table instead of your desk.
Well, because I had started the monthlies.
Oh.
Well,
so
I
had
your
everything
picture behind
set.
you.
Oh yeah, my picture my mom gave me.
That's a beautiful
It's
picture.
awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Jazz says she can't stand it in the kitchen over the table, but it goes with the kitchen. So I'm like, this is where it needs to be. It's my goddamn picture. I put it where I want to put it.
She doesn't eat at the table anyway.
Girl, this ain't even her house. It's like shit. Your ass 24. Go find your own house and put your pictures where you want to put your pictures at.
No, she's gonna stay there for as long as she can and build a wonderful nest. So when she moves out, she has plenty of savings.
Shit. Well, the way the Amazon truck is coming every other day, I don't see no savings. I don't see nothing going into savings. I think she living her best goddamn life.
That could be it too. That could very well be it.
I wish I had it like that.
Yeah, that would be nice for everybody to have it like that. Let's see.
Mm-hmm. So what's going on? What's the topic? What we talking about?
We've just been talking about what we did this week and our weekend last weekend, and we really haven't started yet. So how's your week been?
Well, it's good. I mean, of course, I was sick for a little bit, and but I'm my energy feels like it's creeping back up to a good level. So it's been good. I feel good about it. I mean, of course, I got stuff to clean up and stuff because I was kind of, I call it lazy, but I was sick.
Yeah.
But, when you're used to maneuvering and doing things, I don't like, I kind of like cleaned up before and then I let things get back out of order. Why do we do that? Like, why do we clean up and then.
You notice this thing
let it fall back apart.
Yeah.
I just took, you saw, I took everything off and put it on my table, had this big pile on the table, and now I got shit back on here again. And I still got the shit on the table. And I had to use the screen again.
Why do we do it to ourselves? I will never know.
Hey, Day Day.
I have been listening to this hypnosis video on YouTube of how to declutter and break the spirit of hoarding. And I will say that when I wake up in the morning, I wake up throwing shit away. So I will say that the video is actually working because
share that with us because I watched the home edit and I've been going to the Container Store and
But you have to break the mindset. You have to break the mindset of keeping shit that you don't need. Because a lot of times we get attached.
Yeah.
I haven't purchased anything new in forever. Literally.
That's good.
So I can't say. Yeah, I mean, the other day I have to
and leave it in the bag and then just set it down. And then
I do that. I've done that and I had to stop.
6 months later, it's still in the bag, and you're like, I know I bought that. Where the hell is it? You can't find it because it's still in the bag wherever you laid it down.
But you buy things in doubles and triplets. You do like my mom and them do. Like they don't buy one coffee maker; they buy 2 coffee makers 2 popcorn machines, 2 wine racks. So I'm like, what is the?
I can't find the other one.
But it's almost like put it where it needs to go. But with them, it's like, well, if it breaks down, we have another one. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I
yeah.
have to say, like, I was looking at some tarot cards and I didn't get them.
Huh?
What?
I was looking at tarot cards and I was like, I don't. First time ever, I was like, I actually don't need any more tarot cards. I was like,
what? Not the queen of Kickstarter passing up tarot?
well, okay, but look, I did kickstart a book, but then I'm thinking of canceling the Kickstarter because it's by, you know, the same book I got, that big witchcraft book that they only print the one copy from Kickstarter that you can't buy anymore. They made a book called The Demonica with all the different demons and media and stuff like that. And I was like, do I really need it? And I was like, I kind of don't. So I'm probably going to cancel it.
Mm.
Yeah,
But there is one tarot deck that I might kickstart. Only because there's a card in there and it's a beautiful woman of color. And I fell in love with that card specifically. And I was like, if I could have that in a big print, I would have it.
Kickstarter has possessed you. They have and it's not a negative thing, honestly. Because I mean, if you find things that are beautiful, and you know, I think a lot of us are attracted to cards or divination tools because of the beauty of them. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to pass something up when you see something that is just like, oh, it's speaking to me.
Well, I think the thing is, I like that I'm supporting an artist. I'm not supporting a company. I'm supporting an artist directly.
Mm-hmm.
And that means a lot more to me. I'm like, what's the point of just going and buying just anything if I'm not supporting? I mean, through Kickstarter, I support more artists. Now, Los Scarabo, that is my weakness. I will not lie. That is a weakness for me. If they were like, we just made another tarot deck, I'd be like, ooh, I had to break that. I don't need it kind of thing. Because that's just, ooh. After I got the Goetia and the other deck, I'm like, the weakness is real. And then I got the Visconti Madroni with the gold paint. It's Los Scarabo. It's addictive.
And it's a beautiful deck. Like I said, there are decks that I have that are literally collectors. Like I don't read with them because they're beautiful. The artwork is beautiful, and hopefully, I always say that I'm going to be cremated with my tarot decks.
Yeah, because I don't want anybody else to have.
Girl, that'd be a lot of ashes.
It would be a heavy thing. But I'm hoping that maybe Jazz or somebody in the family may develop a love for the tarot, just the decks to keep them, to pass them down. But
I'm getting bitter because, like some of the decks, they build their value. And I'm like, I paid for that. I don't want you to have the value of that deck. I paid for that deck.
See, that's what I told my kids that they could pay for my funeral with my decks.
Yeah.
They probably could. And because you have duplicates.
Yeah.
So they would find
buy duplicates of my cards on purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of them, you can't buy them again. And if I wear them out, I need another deck. Or if I misplace one, then I have another deck.
I think somebody stole my past lives deck though.
Oh.
From where?
From where I used to live.
Oh.
You can only get the knockoff now, but I'll be honest, I like the knockoff. I'm not trying to support Dorothy anyway. And I know that sounds good, but
I get it, but I had the original, so at that point.
I'm all for supporting the artists. I do a lot of Kickstarters, and I really like doing the Kickstarters because you get to become friends with the artists. You get to know who they are and what they were thinking as they create the cards, and a lot more in-depth stuff. But some cards I buy just because I like. And then the case with the past life, I have the knockoff deck.
I think I've only done one Kickstarter, and he ended up stealing everybody's money, and I've never done another one since.
Yeah. But
there was one deck that happened to. It was like a new way of doing shadow work that I had waited 2.5 years, and the lady never did the cards. And then finally I was like, okay, well, the Kickstarter is not going to do anything about it. So now they have this disclaimer that you may not get your backing. I was like, but the bank will. I was the bank's gonna be like, oh, you didn't get it? And I said, then after I get my money back, because which is what I told her, I was like, after I get my money back, then I'm gonna file. I said, then I'm gonna send some information off on you that you basically committed fraud and you stole people's money.
Yeah.
Everybody got a refund. Like literally the next week, everybody got a refund.
Well, I mean, honestly, you're taking people's money, and if I think like you say, most people want to support the artist, but if a person is taking money and not paying you or not giving you your product, then you have every right. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot, and like you say, it's fraud. Voodoo,
It's
hold
fraud.
up. So the topic today is Ori, right?
Right.
Yes.
So Ori is the way that I was told. Now, and I didn't really research it or whatever, but I know that it is the essence of a spirit, like in voodoo, like in Haitian voodoo, like when the spirit takes your head.
That's what I was wondering about too when I was reading it.
Yeah, it's like an essence of a spirit. So, say if you're dealing with Santeria or I mean even in voodoo, and there's a lot of other traditions.
Well, I was thinking Ifa because it was from Yoruba.
Yeah, Ifa. I mean any tradition that deals with Orisha, you're gonna find that there is an Ori, there is a head spirit. So there is an essence of a spirit that when it makes a decision to connect with you, which is what taking your head is. It's like the spirit is like you're a newborn baby. You're going through ceremony. Your head is open, and the spirit is saying that I am going to walk with you for the rest of your life, which means that you have my protection, you have my wisdom. You're able to work with me, and of course, you don't. Head spirits are not the only ones that will do that for you. If you have other altars and deities that you work with, of course, even if it's not an African-based tradition, you have certain deities that definitely will unite with you in a way. But it is literally like a spirit or an essence of a spirit that walks with you. And I get all these people that are like, oh, I had a reading and somebody told me who my Orisha head was or who my Lawa was. And here's the thing, it doesn't work that way. You literally have to go through ceremony. A spirit chooses you.
At the time of ceremony, right?
At the time of ceremony. I'm not going to say that there aren't mambos and ugons and tatas and yayas and babalas and things like that that don't have insight, but they get the insight through ceremony. So you have all these people, oh, I'm Oshun, oh, I'm Oya, oh, I'm a Batala. And it's because they have self-initiated, and it's because they have a lot of people. When Beyonce came out and Beyonce was like, everybody's like, oh, she's Oshun. Oshun has her head. Here's the thing: when your head is made, nobody tells you who their head is, because there are people that try to work your head or work that spirit. So you're making yourself vulnerable when you share that information, first of all. So when people are up there calling themselves certain Orisha or Lawa, it's more for I don't social media, or it's wishful thinking. When everybody thought Beyonce was Oshun, everybody was like, oh, she's wearing gold, she's wearing yellow, she's fierce, she's a fighter. And then we had all this misinformation because nobody knew who Oshun was. Mm-hmm. They were looking at a celebrity that was, exemplifying what they wanted Oshun to be. So everybody was like, oh, I'm going to go get blonde hair. I'm going to start wearing gold. I'm going to start wearing yellow and calling myself Oshun. They don't know how to serve the spirit. They don't know the offerings for the spirit. They don't know the days to serve the spirit. They don't know the language or the invocations to work with the spirit. And all those things are learned when you go through ceremony. But you have a lot of people out here that are making money off of people by telling them, oh, get a reading with me and I'll tell you who your Ori is or who your Orisha or your Lawa is. And they can't do it.
But I also think like when people do that, when they're like when they saw Beyonce, then everybody made it seem like it was a trend. And so instead of like really looking at the deep spiritual aspect of it, because it is a deep spiritual aspect, you can't just be like, I want to be Oya or I want to be Yemaya or Oshun, because you start dealing with the wrong spirit and then your head is owned by a different spirit that may not get along with that spirit, then you're in a whole
Well,
different
here's the
ballgame too.
thing. Even in ceremony, if somebody puts the wrong spirit on your head, it can kill you. So it's not even about the aesthetics of wanting these spirits. There are a lot of people that want these popular spirits because they're popular. But if you go through ceremony and this person doesn't know what they're doing and they put the wrong or Ori or the Orisha or the wrong Lawa on you, it can cause you to have medical problems. It can cause you to die. And then you have a bunch of people who are having an altar set up to Oya because I like purple and she's purple and red and her number is 9, and a lot of stuff we get off of Google or we get off of YouTube that is just mainstream stuff, but it goes a lot deeper to what these spirits are and what they want. There's invocations and things that go with these spirits. But how disrespectful is that? Like Shishi is saying, if you set up an altar to a spirit that does not actually walk with you or actually does not have your head, and you're worshiping this spirit like it's everything to you, but then you actually have an Ori or an Orisha that is supposed to take your head. And I've seen people deny, like, oh, I don't like that spirit, so I don't want it to take my head. Man, talk about blasphemy. It's an honor for a spirit to want to take your head. And then for people like, oh, I don't want to be you. I want to be Oshun. I don't want to be you. I want to be Obatala. I don't want to be you. I want to be, Yemaya. And I'm like, okay, it does not work that way. But I think what happened is within the last 5 years, a lot of people have gotten really connected to African-based traditions where we're doing more ancestral veneration and people are trying to find who they are, and, going through ancestry. And it has become a fad. I think it's losing some of its how should I say? There's traditions that are steeped really, really deep, that come from Africa that resonate with us because of ancestry that should be respected. But I think when you turn it into a fad and you make it about clothes and colors and celebrities and things like that, not saying that celebrities don't get initiated, because they do. Beyonce and Jay-Z did go to Cuba. So there was probably ceremony done. But you wouldn't see me parading my head on a stage. If I was a celebrity, there's no way that I would parade my head spirit publicly for popularity.
No, because there's too many haters out there.
It's too many haters, and then to me, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful, which makes me wonder if Beyonce really does have Oshun on her head, or does she just Oshun walks with her, or does she just like the qualities that Oshun has because they match with her? Because I just don't see somebody being that careless to parade their head publicly like that.
Maybe she just liked the clothes.
But then also, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was just thinking out loud.
I mean, kind of like what Nika said, I agree. People only know the positive side of Oshun, too. They don't know that other side because Oshun can be crazy, right?
Well, here's any of these African spirits. They're powerful, and a lot of them were born out of adversity. The sparkling, the diamonds, and all that stuff like that. You're talking about spirits that are warrior spirits. So when you try to trivialize them and make them a fad, I would feel like that would go against their nature.
Agreed.
I just don't think that they would want to be seen that way. And like you said, there is definitely, when you're dealing with warriors, you're not seeing you're not seeing the true image of that spirit, because you go through ceremony to learn how to work with them properly so that you don't offend them and you don't cause problems, because you can cause problems in your life. They can cause problems in other people's lives. So I don't know. I think it's very interesting when we look at celebrities and we look at things that are coming in as fads, and all these young girls are like, I want to be this spirit, or I want to do with this spirit. I think it's, in one way, it's really good that African traditions are getting acknowledgement. But then, like I say, you don't want to trivialize it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want it to just be about, the aesthetics of that spirit, because that's a very small window of who that spirit is. You know? Okay, many don't understand deities, demons, orishas have multiple energies that will teach you a lesson. Yeah, I think I blame social media a lot for that, Sabrina, though. I think that TikToks and IG, you have a very limited window to educate people. And so what we get is a lot of misinformation, because we have somebody that's speaking for 30 seconds or 60 seconds on the aspect of the spirit, and most of it is positive and gumdrop and Fruit Loops and things like that. You'll have people that have these beautiful altars set up with, crystals and everything for these spirit, and they make it seem like these spirits are very welcoming, and you want to have this in your home. But like Shishi said, there are very other strong aspects that go with these spirits, that if you don't serve them well, if you don't serve them properly, you have a problem. You definitely have a problem.
But then
I think,
also,
go ahead, babe. No. I was just going to say, I think social media makes it simplified. They simplify these connections.
It's like, a lot of people, like we talk about with the other facets of spirituality as well. You're right. Social media will be like, oh, this is my altar to Shango and blah blah blah, and then people are like, oh, Shango is badass. He's this major warrior. He has his red and black. He has this, but then they don't let you know you can't play with Shango, because Shango will ruin your house, like jack you all the way up. Because if he did not choose you, you can't just wake up and be like, I think Shango's it. Because some of them take offense. It's not like you wake up and you're like, I think I'm gonna try to work with, or commune with Hecate, or I'm gonna try to commune with, whatever. No, like, if you aren't dealing with someone in reality that is a part of that spirituality, and you go to a store, and I know this because when Beyonce came out, and you're right, the Oshun whole trend thing started, I went to a spiritual store, and the woman, I guess she was like, you're black, you have locks, you know what, Oshun's calling to you. And she was this white woman saying, Oshun's calling to you. I was like, Oshun is not calling to me. You're not going to get me caught up in that situation
that I'm not supposed to be in.
That I'm not supposed to be in. But she gave me the candle, and she's like, trust me, light it, right? And so I was like, you know what? Because my friend was like, get the candle. So I got the candle, and I said, okay, look, I'm gonna light this candle just so it's not wasted. And I'll talk to her, whatever. I was like, but this doesn't feel right. So much shit went wrong within that week for me. Because internally, I knew she wasn't calling to me. Internally, like, even though people are like, you don't know your head, I know I am not Oshu. I know that without a doubt, because I just know that, because that was told to me. I went to different house offense, and they were like, no, you were definitely not Oshun. I was like, that's fine, that's cool. I know, but that's cool. I guess they did like a step, not the full ritual, but a step where you can go get something else looked at on your head, but not the complete.
You can get a head washing, and you have some people that can see certain spirits that walk with you. But
Yes.
typically, your head does not reveal itself until ceremony. And the reason why is because it is a trusted environment where the priest that is making your head has a relationship with those spirits. So you don't have to worry about your godfather or your godmother telling people who your head is. So that's why the ceremony is geared toward, unless you want to share that with people in your house, and some people do, but you don't typically, people, the public does not know who your head is.
It's like when people come to me for reading, they're like, "Do you think what Orisha has my head?" I do not know. I cannot do that for you. I
Yeah.
cannot tell you
You
at all.
hit on three valid points, really, really, that were strong. And I just want to reiterate them because they were strong. And you just kind of, because you were talking, um, number one was you said, if I'm not invited, I'm not going to work with the spirit. And I think people have to really connect with that. If you're not invited to the table, you do not sit at the table. I'm a Southern woman. I don't sit anywhere I am not invited. I don't come into your house unless you say, come into my house. I don't go in your bedroom. If people tell me to get something out their purse, I don't do that shit. Nope, you go get your, I was raised that way. You don't do things unless you are invited to do things.
Girl,
We
I
have,
just had to pee.
oh, well, when you came over, but you were invited.
No, not that time. I just rang the doorbell and walked in, and Jazz is like, "Did you know she was coming?" And you were like, "No." when you
Girl,
were when
if
you
the
were out
door
with the
opened and you walked through the door, you was invited. Cause trust me, if your ass was not invited, you wouldn't have made it to the bathroom.
Mm.
You were invited. The other thing that you touched on too was the botanica. There are a lot of non-African based, non traditional based botanicas out there where people are just pulling in candles and products to make money. They have no idea what these products do. They look at this stuff on YouTube, they order it from a wholesale. There's nothing fixed about it, there's nothing prayed over about it. And people, they sell shit because it sells. I remember going to a botanical one time and this girl was breaking up with this guy and she was emotional, she was crying, she wanted him to pay. It didn't work out, and the owner was trying to sell her an tranquil spirit candle to work this guy. And I was like, do you know how to work with these spirits? And she was like, no. And I'm looking at the owner and I'm like, do you know how to work with these spirits? And she goes, oh, it's not that hard. You just light the candle and pray on it. No, it's a little bit more involved than that. So we have people out here that, because they have African based businesses, doesn't mean that they understand how to work with these spirits. And that's a red flag if somebody's just selling you something. Like Shishi said, the woman is like, oh, you have Oshun, take the Oshun candle home and burn it or whatever. And she lights the candle. Oshun comes down and Oshun is like, I don't know who the fuck you are. I didn't call you. Why are you calling me?
right.
And spirits are like that. If they do not call you, you don't go to them. And it's the third thing. If you have a head or you have spirits that walk with you, you don't need anybody to tell you the spirit walks with you. The spirit comes to you and talks to you. My journey into voodoo, nobody told me voodoo was the path for me. The Loa came to me in dreams and they were like, this is the path we want you to take. You need to find a godparent. They guided me to certain people. They weren't the right people. We continued the journey, but not once did an Ugan or a Mambo tell me that voodoo was my path. My spirits told me it was my path, and that set me on my journey. I think we have to be very careful of people that are trying to make money off of our ignorance and our willingness to want to be involved in culture. Not everything is about us, and not everything should we go into. There's certain deities that I will not work with because I have not been called. Somebody was like, "Oh, you need to work with Hecate. Hecate is good. You want to do this?" Hecate has not called me. She has not initiated conversation. She's not appeared in any of my dreams. She's not guided me to any books. I completely respect her and her power, but she has not called me to walk with her. Why would I do that? I have not been invited. You make spirits very angry when you get entitled. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we have a lot of people now because they think it's a fad. Let's be entitled. Let's be entitled. You have to be very respectful.
It's interesting because I think, well, by the way, I looked up how long we've known each other, Tonya. I just want you to know we've known each other 7 years now. I was going back.
I thought it was longer than that. Let me let this cat out before he loses his mind.
So I went to an event, and it was Apollo event, and they were like, all the people in the house, you need to do Apollo. You need to join Apollo. You know, it's for you. We could tell. Like, all the spirits around you, it's for you. It's for you. I was like, I don't think it's for me. I don't think it's for me. And they were like, no, it's definitely for you. And so there was we were watching people get crowned. Or while they have to sit in the room or something for like a week, and the ritual part of it. And so I went to congratulate them. And all the people, you need to get to Apollo. You need to get to Apollo. We promise you, this is for you. Like, the minute you walked in, the spirit said it was for you. They were talking to us about you. I was like, no, I don't think so. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I don't think so. And so then they started the drumming. And I was at a certain location. And the people take me, they're like, you're a woman. You can't be in front of the drums while the men are drumming. You can only do that if you're a man. And I was like, see, it was not for me. Because that right there just irked my whole nerve. I was like, there's nowhere else to stand. What else is there to do? But it was something like that irked me. But then in my head, it was like I heard a woman say, you already knew it wasn't for you. So it was just confirmed. Because during that time, I was like, maybe I'm being ridiculous. Maybe my intuition's off. But I was like, no, never mind. I'm good. But I also feel like spirit, when you're going through that wishy-washy thing of, maybe my intuition's off? Maybe something will always happen to confirm whether it's for you or not. And it may not be that time that it is for you. But Sophie, stop trying to jack me up. But I think, as far as being invited, I also agree. Like, my spirit that I worked with came to me. I never went to them. They came to me. And I think that's the same for Voodoo, for Paolo, for all of them. For all of them, I believe they come to you. And you can also tell when something really isn't for you because you're really not drawn to it. It feels like an obligation. Like when I stepped into the craft, I felt like I had to be a part of ATR because I was Black, like I had to go where a lot of the Black people were and where it was ours. And it didn't do it for me. It did not call for me, but I love watching and seeing and learning about it, but it didn't call to me.
Well, here's the thing. You have the ancestry for sure. You're a Black woman. You have the ancestry, but you also have free will. And I think spirits are very conscious of what our path is, and they respect it too. They don't force you to do, whether you believe in God, Goddess, Universal God, Loa, Orisha, they don't force you to do anything that you don't want to do. You don't have to do ceremonies. You don't have to initiate. You don't even have to practice the tradition. Your ancestral tradition is powerful by itself. Your bloodline, that's like who you come from, whether you're white, Black, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. That your ancestors, because Black people seem to think, and it really irritates me because I see it a lot in some groups. Black people seem to think they're the only people who have ancestry. I don't know where they get that from. Like the white people don't have ancestry. The Mexican people don't have ancestry. Black people are the only ones who have ancestry. We're the only ones. And that's fucking ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But We have all these people who are all of a sudden they're leaders in the community that can tell people what they can and cannot do. Oh, you're Black, you have to practice an ATR. No, you don't.
What
No,
were you
you
going to do
don't.
in a past life?
There's so many different.
That's probably a whole nother subject, but I often wonder that
There's
because
so many other
I do hear
decisions
that
that.
a lot. Oh, you're
Yeah.
not Black, you can't do voodoo, or you can't do voodoo, you're not Black. Well, how do you know I wasn't Black in a past life?
Well, you don't know why the spirit is calling you. And I think that's the whole thing, because I have a lot of Black people that's like, well, we don't want white people in voodoo. We don't want this and everything like that. That is not up to you to make that decision. It's up to spirit. And if you are living in a place of racism, there is no place for it in spiritual connection with the Loa or the Orisha. I know a lot of people try to make it because they want to sell their agenda, but we have to be honest. Spirit calls people for a lot of different reasons. Say Lynna has cancer, and a spirit is like, I don't want Lynna to die. I want to be able to help her because she's a good person and maybe she's helped a lot of people in life. So that spirit may come to you and say, Lynna, I'm going to walk with you and I want you to go through this ceremony because this ceremony is going to save your life. Because you maybe did something good in this lifetime and I want to pay this back to you, or I want to take care of you. We don't know why spirit is walking with you, but if they call you, it's because they want to work with you. There's a connection there. So when people sit up there and they're telling people, no, 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 you can't be this, or you're Black, so you have to do this. I think we have to be really realistic about it. Spirit is powerful. They choose who to have relations with, who to have connections with. They don't need another person to come and speak for them. They speak to you directly, and it's not for anybody else to understand. There's a lot of people that are in ATRs, and I'm kind of like, okay, how did they get in here? Are they really connected to spirit? Are they trying? We get some white people, and this may offend somebody, but it is what it is. I've always spoke my mind, and I'm going to continue. We get some white people that definitely have sympathy or empathy towards what Black people have gone through, and some of them are Blacker than some Black people I know. Power to the people. Let me put my dashiki on and dance to the voodoo drums because I feel your pain. I feel what you went through. Well, we got to be realistic. No, you don't. You're empathizing, and I can appreciate that. You're empathizing with what Black people went through. But I don't feel that pain. That would be like me going to a Holocaust survivor and being like, you know what? Let me put on this garb and call myself a Jew because I can empathize with what you went through. No, I cannot.
Yeah.
Not in the way that I'm taking it on.
I would take that as mocking.
And you see that sometimes in ATRs.
Mm-hmm.
You see sometimes where people, and I don't think a lot of them honestly are doing it purposely. I think that there's something in them that definitely they can be empaths. They're connecting with the pain of it. But then I think when they get into the religion, they get lost with the religion of it because maybe there is a disconnect with the spirits for whatever reason. So I'm like this: if spirit calls you, whatever color, race, or whatever, if they call you, you're there for a purpose. But if you're going into ATRs because you want to wrap your head, you want to wear locks, you want to, be a part of a community, it's not the same thing as spirit connection.
Yeah.
I can dress like a boho. What do we call them?
Gypsy.
No. Gypsy is offensive nowadays. Ramon. It starts with an R.
Romanian. Well, the Romanians were gypsies.
No, but it's a name that they prefer now. Like, I have some friends that are gypsies that are like, no, call me a gypsy. But it publicly,
yeah, I don't have any offense to being called a gypsy or a hippie or anything else like that. A Romy. Rob's saying a Romy.
Romy. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Because I have friends that are like, no, I'm a gypsy, but you have some people that find it like it would be the N word to some. So the thing about it is that we have to understand that people are going to be called that may not be completely a part of a culture, but spirit is calling them because there's a reason. Maybe this person has cancer and spirit is like, I can help you. Maybe this person is meant to, build a bridge for communication, and spirit is like, I want to work with you because you're in a position to do it, whatever. But we have to be open to it. We have, because when spirit takes your head, that is a decision that they decide. It's a very honorable thing.
Yeah.
So I think when we talk about head spirits and the essence of that spirit, when they merge with you, you take on characteristics of what that spirit is. And that's why it's important to have the right head spirit given to you, because that spirit is connecting with you. It's merging. It's not like, if Lynna is merging with a Batala, you take on characteristics. Maybe you're too soft spoken. Maybe you don't put boundaries or set boundaries, and a Batala comes in. And when you initiate, you feel this power. A Batala is like, look, we don't fuck with them no more. With all this shit you used to do 2 months ago, I have taken your head, and we are powerful. It becomes a we, not just an I. It becomes a we. Because when I work with my spirits and my head spirits, it is literally, we have joined together. And a lot of people get confused about that. They're taking on spirits and head spirits that are not connected to them. They're not. And that's what causes problems. Some people end up going crazy. Some people in Africa that buy their way to Africa come back and die. I mean, it's crazy, but it happens. Let's see. Munchie Cheese. I found that a lot of people are empathetic, but just to the point. You make them mad, and then you're the N word, and it's crazy. Here's the thing. If they're empathetic, the N word should never even come up. It should never even come up. But people that are faking the funk, that can easily be racist to you or derogatory to you, nah, they never were connected with spirit. They were playing a role. I truly believe that, because I believe if you're on a spiritual journey and you're opening yourself to spirit, you're not going to sit up there. I'm not trying to attack people. It just doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah.
My spirits don't like it.
I said it 40 years ago, and I got my nose broke and haven't said it since.
Yeah.
Oh, that person did not appreciate it. Right in my nose. Never said it again.
That was his Ori that said, bitch, you not fixing to call me the N word.
And we're friends now. We're friends now. He's a firefighter. He lives up there by you. But yeah, but back then, and this is no excuse, I was 10 years old. It was in the boonies. I lived in the boonies or in the woods, whatever you want to call it, not in the city. And things were different. It's the way people were raised were different. And I didn't know any better. But I got taught better.
See, my face was like, yeah, he knocked the common
sense. You got
sense.
punched in the face.
Yeah. he knocked the common sense into her. His Ori said, no, you're not fixing to do this.
No. I have not.
Oh, I'm so sorry for your nose.
Yeah, he hit me hard. He apologized. Probably 10 years ago, he apologized. He waited 30 years. Then he apologized. But we're friends now.
Because he was like, you earned all 30 years of that, getting punched in the face. Now say, all right. Okay.
Yeah. But you do. I mean, what was that guy? He has books out. Killing.
Talking about the white guy who was writing all about the
he's a white supremacist now. He initiated into voodoo. He wrote several books about voodoo, and now he does not like black people. He does not connect with African traditions. But here's the thing: his books are still on Amazon. He's still getting a residual check. So now he's saying that he's a white supremacist, or he's putting himself out there, but his books are still out there making money.
I can't remember his name, but I feel like they should rip his books off the shelf. But
I have one of his books.
There it is. Keenan Filas.
Yeah, I have one of his books, and then I heard him on the talk show, and he was so derogatory towards Black people. And this is a Haitian initiated Ugan that went to Haiti, let Haitians take care of him and send him through ceremony, and then somewhere down the line, he wrote a few books, made money off of it, and then it was like, I'm a white supremacist now. Fuck Black people, fuck African traditions, and you know what? His spirits are gonna fuck him up.
In reality, I think he was a white supremacist the whole time.
Oh, I'm sure he was. That's what I'm saying. People that do shit like that, they fake the funk. That's why people are like, oh, let everybody in the traditions. This is exactly why that a lot of black people are like, no, don't let everybody in the tradition. Unfortunately, you still have white people that are coming in to steal. They're still coming in to steal. They have no intention of doing anything positive with the knowledge that they have, but to make money off of it and keep it moving. And I'm pretty sure we even have Black people that do the same thing. I'm not even going to just say it's white. We have Black people that will sell out African-based traditions and knowledge for $1. So I think when it comes to ceremonies, and we say this all the time about being very careful of the people that you deal with, very careful of the people that you open yourself up to, because let's be honest, ceremonies can be bought. There are a ton of people in Haiti that are starving right now that will, do a ceremony for you because they need the money. They need to eat. And you have people that go down there and take advantage of it, but they have no intention of.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
Oh, no. I was going to say they have no intention of doing what's right for the people or the spirits. That's why you see people that go down there and initiate and never go back to Haiti. They never, because they got what they wanted. They got a title so that they can write a book. They can do ceremonies for people and make money off of it. And it's not right.
But didn't you say there was somebody that kind of sort of did that and they came back crazy? You have to go down prepared for a certain way and they don't come back normal.
I think honestly, spirits will take care of you. Spirit knows everything, just like God, Goddess, Universal God, whatever you want to call it, Yahweh, Allah, Jehovah. They know everything. That energy knows everything. They know why you're gonna do what you're doing before you do it. So I think for a lot of people that come in and think that they're faking the funk, of course you're gonna get bit in the ass somewhere down the line. I'm a Mambo. It has a lot of responsibilities on it, but the same thing with Lynna when she was in the coven. She practices. There's still responsibility that goes in for her. You are a practicing witch. There are still responsibilities that you have to deal with the deities and spirits that you work with. If you fuck up and you're disrespectful, you have to pay for that. You will see certain things in your life that needs to be made right. And spirits can, Orishas and Loa, and there's a lot of deities that can fuck you up. They can kill you.
I wouldn't say a lot. I'd say all of them.
Yeah, they all They all have the power.
They can, and they will.
I've seen Hecate do it.
Oh,
that I have seen happen.
Anyway, yeah.
Hecate will slowly suck the life out of you. She's very patient.
But even even the sweet goddesses, everybody wants to have Aphrodite for love. That bitch will give you crabs. She will give you an STD.
You know what? That's the only thing that sticks with me.
Aphrodite. Everybody wants to call on Aphrodite for love. She will give you crabs.
Oh. Every time Lynna says that, it makes me itch.
Girl,
every time somebody brings up Aphrodite, I just itch because all I hear is Lynna in my ear. STDs.
Yeah.
But that's what the thing is. Everybody believes that.
For love. No, you need to.
Well, the thing is, no, you have to remember that when it comes to love and you're working with the goddesses, if you're going into love for something malicious, then yeah, they're going to turn that back around on you.
But there are other goddesses for love. forgot he
There
was.
are, but all of them will do the
not.
same.
She was.
If you are going into it to use someone or abuse someone and torture their heart, the goddesses and the gods of love, the goddesses of love will fuck you up. It does not matter. They'll be like, okay, cool. Yeah, so and you will beg for it, right? Because the guy did it. Begged for it, got it. The person was crazy as hell, fucked up his whole life. But he got what he wanted.
Let me see. Milky cheese. So those that pay for their way, are they giving their true head, or it's all BS? I heard that people and in the ceremony. So okay, so here's the thing. Africa, a lot of Caribbean islands, if you are gullible enough to go down there and pay for ceremonies, chances are you're not getting the proper ceremonies. If you go through reputable houses that do consos and things like that, look at the house. If the house is healthy, if the people are thriving, then you're going to a place where ceremonies are done properly, because the house is growing. A house that's growing, that is thriving, is a valid house. If you go down there, you meet a Haitian in Miami, and they're like, look, my cousin Bobo is doing ceremony next month. It's going to cost you $10,000. We're going to give you special secrets. You're going to learn everything that you need to learn. You're going to learn how to do spell and fuck people up or whatever. No, you're not going to get proper ceremony. I've had people that say, oh, I went and did conzo for $5,000 for Asogwe. There's no way. It's $10,000 and up. Because roots have to be bought. There's workers other Mambos and Lugans that have to come in and do the ceremonies that need to be paid. There's animal sacrifices. What was it? It was a lady in Florida. She was a Mambo, and she was doing vegan initiations in her garage for $350. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. That's when I was first looking. I was like, that doesn't sound right. And she was like, yeah, I don't do animal sacrifices. I'm vegan, and we don't have to go to Haiti. We can do it here in my garage. And I was like, no, everything I was taught was completely opposite of what she said. But she had 15 people in her garage that paid that money, and they walked away with a certificate that said Mambo on a piece of paper. She even framed it for them, a certificate. And none of them people was initiated. Not a single one of them. They lost their money. The sad thing is, I know some of them that still are on social media calling themselves Mambos because they think they went through an initiation in a garage. People are so desperate sometimes to belong to something, and a lot of people want to do it the cheap way. Ceremonies are not cheap. And that's not even just ATRs, even in covens, even in other groups where you're actually going through a spiritual ceremony. There's herbs, there's animals, there's moon cycles. There's so many things that go into ritual work that if you think that you're getting everything you need for $150.
Oh, it was only $150? Girl. You could buy a tarot deck for $150.
Exactly. But there's a lot of people that, oh, I got it for cheap. Are these people that self-initiate? Oh, I gave myself my own Ori. Okay. That's interesting. So how do you serve your Ori? How do you salute your Ori? What do you cook for it? What do you cook for your Orisha? What do you cook for your Loa? What is the day of this that the Loa is served? What's their Veve? What's the invocation? And they're like, oh, mine doesn't do that. They don't need all that stuff. This is a different Orisha. This is a different Loa. Okay. So thousands of years of tradition, and all of a sudden this Loa decides, yeah, let's not do that no more.
And that's what I'm thinking too. Even Abraham had to sacrifice the doves and the rams and little calf, and I mean, he had like several different kinds of animals to sacrifice all at once.
The Bible is full of sacrifices, for rituals.
Sacrifices.
God was saying, "Give me your kid,
Yeah.
bring your baby to me, so that we can sacrifice this baby." So for these people that think that they can get everything for $50, are you kidding me?
Mm-mm.
But I think some people who think they can get it for $50, they're not really in it. You know what I'm saying? It's not something
Yeah,
that they
no, they're
plan
not.
to really stick with. I mean, and I think, what was it? I was talking to Angela about it the other day, when there was a woman who's like, it was God, about 5 years back, and she was getting in, out, in, out, in, out, and finally she decided she's going to stay in, right, to a spirituality. I don't know what she did, but I guess she scared the shit out of herself, and then decided to step out. I don't know what she conjured up, but some people, she scared the shit out of herself, and then she's like, "Well, at least I only paid like $700." I was like, so you probably got something wrong. You were probably dealing with someone who was unfortunately not reputable. And now you probably got some shit following you.
Spirituality. Go ahead. I'm sorry, babe. Go ahead.
I mean, a lot of people, they get discouraged by the price, but if you're really about it and you're really called to it, they're going to make a way. The spirits will make a way for you to be able to get through your rituals.
And you think, I'm thinking, when I joined the coven, or like even with Judaism, there's a whole process. Even Tonya, before you initiated with Kurt years ago, there was a whole process. There's an interview. There's, lots of talking, going back and forth, questioning. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole process.
The sacrifices start way before the ceremony.
And then it might be years before you even get to do ceremony.
Yeah.
You won't just pay somebody $150 and knock on their door.
Well, we have microwave culture in spirituality right now. People don't want to go through the sacrifices. They don't want to take the time to develop a relationship with the spirits. In my mentorship, the first thing that we do is we develop the relationship with our ancestors.
And you see what you just said. It's a mentorship. It's part of the process,
right,
before they even go.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
If you don't have the connection with spirit to build on, it doesn't matter what title you get. It doesn't matter what you call yourself. I can call myself Mambo Bumper Clot Oshun Oya Booty Shaker. I can call myself anything that I want to. We have a ton of people online that do it, and a lot of people follow them and worship them and swear by them and all that stuff like that. Even people that the names don't even go right. We got Arisha mixing with Lawa, mixing with Hecate, mixing with Boss. There's people throwing everything in the kitchen sink, and then everybody's like, "Oh, they're the greatest, wonderful, person," because they wrap their head and draw little dots under their eyes, and they look cute with their nose ring. And first of all, I'm all about the aesthetics. I'm a Libra. I'm not knocking.
The only ones that are true out of that big old long name you said is Mambo Booty Shaker.
Well, yeah, I am Mambo Booty Shaker, but I think
all the rest of it.
But people don't know that. Somebody even said too about scammers, how people make it easy for scammers. A lot of people, because they're so quick to want to belong to something, and there's popularity nowadays. We got a lot of fake people, and somebody even said, are there consequences for people that are fake? So here's the thing. Anesia, is that Anesia? I got my glasses on and I'm so far away I still can't see. Last year or the year before, we had a lot of spiritual people that were very popular and had very public profiles get outed. Some of them were not even initiated. Some of them were sleeping with their god kids. Some of them were using sexual advances to get money. Some of them were homophobic and dealing with their god kids that were gay. There was a lot of public outing last year, and people were like, But this person was so spiritual. This person was, I thought they were the real deal. I thought this person, but nobody researched. When everything came out, I was shocked with some people. I was like, whoa, whoa. But I didn't research the person because I just assumed that this person came in with a title. They were teaching classes at all these big stores or online. They had such a big following that they had to be the real deal. And they weren't. They weren't even initiated. Some of them were teaching classes on spirits that they didn't even work with because they were getting information off of Google and YouTube, and they got enough in to con people, which is sad. Were there consequences? Some of these people, yeah, they lost their standing, they lost their backing, and I think that was spirit. I think spirit always brings things to light. I really do.
Speaking of snakes, Rob said something about, he was asking about people putting snakes in people. I haven't heard anything about that. It's right here.
I saw that. What was that? No.
What about these cases
why
where
would they be putting snakes in people?
Or workers are putting snakes in people? I thought it was rare, and now I feel naive because I've seen the post recently. I haven't heard anything about it. Have y'all?
Here's the thing, though.
That sounds creepy.
Are there unscrupulous priests and priestesses out there? Of course. That's why you don't make yourself available to everybody. You don't let everybody touch your head. You don't go to every ceremony and eat all the food that's there. You don't drink things that people put in Haiti. You if a can or something is open and you walk away from it, they throw that shit away. They don't go back and drink it because they have priests and priestesses that there's competition. There's people do things. I mean, just within the last year, I've talked to women that have had sexual relationships with priests that were supposed to be their godparent, and they ended up catching sexual transmitted diseases from these men because these men and women are predators too. We're sleeping with all these people. Can people do things to you? Yeah, there's some nasty people out there. But I think that's where discernment comes in too. You know, I think you have a right to question who you work with. If I'm working with Shishi and I'm like, I want you to do this work, I'm not going to just pay her. Let's have a conversation. Let me get to know you as a worker to see if we are compatible. If you are, you know, above board and you're going to do the work, you know, or is she going to just take my money and, you know, fuck over me? You need to know who you're dealing with, and you have every right to research them and ask questions. You know, what is your backing? Go ahead, babe.
If people get upset with you for asking, to me, that's a red flag.
Oh, it is.
It's a very big red flag. If you're asking them, how are you doing it? What is it that I can, you know, expect? Anybody that says, oh, you'll have it within 7 days, I'm always hesitant of people who tell you it'll be there in like 2 days, 3 days, 7 days. And because in reality, it can't really be guaranteed that way. I feel like part of discerning when it comes to getting, you know, people to do work for you or working with people is looking, does it seem too good to be true? Because some people make it too good to be true. And, you know, a lot of the time when you're going to somebody for work, it's because you're desperate.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people play on that. So, you know,
it's easy to take advantage of somebody when they're desperate. It's easy. You know, some people make it too easy. You know, like I've had people come in, I'll give you anything to make this person come back into my life. Okay, so what I hear is you'll do anything, which means that how deep are your pockets? If I was unscrupulous, oh, well, we need to order this. Well, we need these herbs. Well, you know, give me 2 more weeks. Well, I need to get this special candle. People will drain you if they're unscrupulous, and it happens. It does. And Munchy Cheese even said too, and I love calling Nika. I should be calling her Nika, but I love Munchy Cheese. But a lot of people are very charismatic. Some of the people that came out within the last 3 years that I was kind of surprised about were people that I was charmed by. 100% charmed by them. They had a glow about them. They knew how to sell. They knew the right things to say. And you wanted to believe that this person really was about that life. I think we all in the spiritual community want to look at people that are public, that are out there, and think that, oh, they are who they present themselves to be. Some people are, some people aren't.
Yep.
I mean, if y'all ever want to know about me, these two, they already know. And I mean, Lynna, who's been over here, slept in the bed with me. I mean, shit. We done farted on each other and everything. If y'all need to know anything, and even blackmail and shit, she she would know. But I think sometimes we have to do due diligence. You know, in Haiti, from my previous house, we couldn't go to other fets because he was like, don't let other people touch your head, don't let other people do things, because unfortunately you have to worry about that. There's some unscrupulous people there, and some people know with your head spirit that they're going to try to mess it up. They're going to try to do things. um you know, we have to be cautious about how much information we put out, even with the deities that we do work with. We have to be cautious, because here's the thing: in Haiti, there's a thing where if I don't take care of my loa, say my altar is dirty, I have food that's moldy on it, it's full of dust, I'm not giving them water or anything like that, you can take a spirit. If the person is not taking care of that spirit, the spirit is like, I don't want to be here. You're not feeding me. My altar is dirty. So then you get a person who says, whoa, I went to her house. Her altar was a mess. I want to work with the spirit. So what the person would do is they would go home and they would set an altar up to the spirit. They would put champagne. They would put gourmet food. They would buy the spirit a statue. And the spirit is like, you know what, Tonya? Peace. I'm going to be with Shishi. Shishi has got it popping over there. Shishi feeding me. Shishi my girl now. I don't fuck with you no more. I fuck with Shishi. Shishi took my spirit. She took my spirit. Was it fair and clear? Yeah, it was. It was. When you take care of your spirits in your head and your spiritual, your energies around you, it creates a barrier where other people can't just come in and fuck with you, because your spirits love you. Your spirits protect you. Your spirits have united with you.
It's a two-way street. They take care of you, you take care of them.
Yeah.
I mean, but then also
And
some
that's
people
part
are
of
under the
sacrifice.
impression, okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was saying that's
Go
part
ahead.
of sacrifice too. You have to work to keep your spirits happy.
It's a relationship.
In return, they're happy with
Exactly.
you. You know, it's two ways. You both have stuff to do. If you want them to do stuff for you, then you damn sure better do stuff for them.
I mean, that's why, you know, it is a relationship, but a lot of people are under the impression, okay, I made an altar, all I have to do is like clean it off, feed you, and you know, you're fine with the gifts I give you. But it's actually not true. You need to actually form a relationship, meaning you're going to talk to that spirit. You're going to take time and spend time with that spirit. Just like you would your ancestors. Like for my ancestors, I don't just say, okay, well, I'm gonna see you when I see you, and it's time for me to do a medium reading. No, I actually sit there and I talk to them. You need to sit there. You need to talk to your spirits. You need to form a relationship. Because here's the deal. Let's say, just like Tonya said, somebody went to the house, your altar is dirty, whatever. If you talk to your spirit and you keep contact with your spirit, and let's say you're going through depression, your spirit's going to be like, look, I know that the altar's a little dirty right now, but her mind and all this stuff she went through is a little jacked up. We're going to get through this. Altar will be clean in a little bit. You know, I'm not leaving her because I know the space that she or he is in. But if you just sit there and look at the spirits as though they are Santa Claus and you give them something, they give you something, and that's how you look at it, like an ATM machine, then you got it wrong in the first place.
Yeah, I agree. I say that all the time. I say some people treat their spirits like Jesus. You know how when you call on Jesus just when you need him? Jesus! This bill needs to be paid. Jesus, my car is broke. I need you to help me repair it. Jesus, come fix my relationship. And a lot of Christians, and I know this might offend some people, but let's be honest. There are a lot of people that use, you know, God, spirits, deity, when it's convenient. And they
Mhm.
do it in the ATRs too. They do it in the ATRs, like she said. If you have a relationship with your spirit knows what you're going through. If I'm sick and I can't take care of my altar, they give me grace because they know any other time I'm on top of them. I'm taking care of them. But spirituality right now is $1 billion business. There's a ton of people that are selling statues and oils and candles and things like that that have absolutely no meaning or connection to spirit. It's just money. And then you buy it and you put it on the altar and then you treat it like it's decoration.
Mhm.
Like she said, there's no conversation, there's no connection. You have a dead altar. You have a pretty altar, but it's a dead altar.
In the case of my ancestors, they would rather me have, and I know it sounds weird, they'd rather me have no altar and talk to them and sit with them and spend time with them, as opposed to just having an altar and letting it sit there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, and I know that sounds weird for a lot of people, but one of my ancestors was staunch Baptist. He doesn't want that, and I had to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
My other ancestor, not staunch Baptist, but she also doesn't like that my cats can run over it or that people look at it and that I have to explain
Yeah.
it. But I do have spaces for them. But in the case when I discussed it with them, they're like, yeah, you could do that. We don't need it. We'd rather you sit here and talk to us. So I literally talk to them every day. I sit out and we do stuff. If I have tea, then I'm having tea with them. So I think don't get caught up in the aesthetics of things only. Don't get caught up in the aesthetics of things. Look at the purpose of it and of why you're doing it and what it means for you. Some people,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just like they want to work with a spirit that hasn't called them. There are some spirits that'll be nice about it and be like, hey, we got your call. We're not for you. Some of them will say that. But then you have some that are going to jack you up in the middle of it because they feel like you're being being demanding and
Yeah.
entitled. So in the case of my ancestor, he doesn't want that, and that's cool.
Excuse me.
But
No.
but you wouldn't know that unless you sit down and talk to them and ask them why. So talk to them and then ask them what it is that they want.
Well, that's part of building a relationship.
Yeah, it is. And what did she say? You want to smoke with them? Here's the thing: with some of them, yeah, you can smoke with them. You can drink with them. Um, ancestors are not just on your altar in your house. You are a living manifestation of your ancestors. You have the blood inside you, which means like if you're on you want to go out on a nature trail and smoke you a little weed while you walking and admiring nature, that is an offering. That is. Some spirits are going to want it, some spirits will not. But I think the thing about it is don't get caught up, like she said, on the aesthetics of a shelf or a table in your house. You are the living ancestor, which means someday you will be, the elder, and then someday you will cross over. And then your children or your children's children's, they will be the living ancestors. And so we have to kind of get in, like I try to teach Jasmine, it's not a shelf with just pretty pictures and things on this. These are people that are connected to us still through our blood. So when we go light the candle and we make them coffee and we talk to them, it's because we still are elevating them. We are still loving them. We are still allowing them to love us. You have to kind of get out of the aesthetics of a statue or a vase or a candle. Those are representations. But if you stand in front of your altar, you should feel the air swirl. You should feel coolness. You should feel energy coming towards you and backing up from you. There's a feeling. And I want y'all, and just something simple. Stand in front of your altars, close your eyes, and just allow yourself to feel what's going on around you. Those are your ancestors. That's them letting you know that they're there. So I love beautiful altars. I do. I love looking at IG and Facebook and seeing these amazing beautiful altars because like I say, I'm a Libra. I love the aesthetics of things too. But there's a lot of altars that I look at that are dead. I can look at the picture and tell you it is a dead altar. There's no spirit there. There's no energy that's flowing. And if you're going to take the time to walk with spirit, then you have to cultivate the relationship so you can feel it. You can feel it.
Yep.
Let me see.
Once you know that feeling too, when you walk into a botanica or a store or someplace like that, you can tell. You can tell if it's real or not because there
Yeah.
are places that have spirits in them and you can feel the presence there. And then there are other places you walk in and it's just like this place was made in China.
Well, you see that a lot in New Orleans, and I'm pretty sure in a lot of touristy places. There are authentic hoodoo and voodoo shops in New Orleans where these people actually practice. They have altars in the shops, and when you go in, you feel that energy. And then there's some where you literally, the oils are like something that they got from China. They a big gallon and they just poured all these color oils in. There's no herbs, there's no vibration on the oil. There's certain ways that you make products if you're a practitioner that connects with spirit.
Especially New Orleans is a good example because
Yeah.
you and I both will hardly ever go into a store to get a reading, but we'll go out to the square.
Yeah.
It feels different. It just feels different.
Yeah. Well, it's authentic and the people are connected to spirit. They are. So it's one of those things where we all have spirits that walk with us. We do. And we do have head spirits, whether you go through ceremony or not. A lot of people have spirits that have their head because they help you navigate life. They help you make decisions. If you are not going to initiate and you're not doing service to them, they are still there, and they walk in the role that they are allowed to walk in. But here's where it comes in. When you do initiate, you take on more responsibility to that spirit because now it's like, not only do I know you're here, but now we're about to work together to make some type of change in the world because you and I are on the same journey. We're on the same path. There's a ton of people, everybody has spirits that walk with them. But when you do decide to initiate, it's a responsibility. And I'm not even going to say just initiate. If you decide to make that connection, because not everybody is going to initiate, but I think every spirit connection, there is ritual, there is ceremony connected to it. So get in where you fit in with it.
Yeah. There was a lot of that going on too, where a lot of celebrities and people were jumping on the Kabbalah train. Kabbalah derives from being Jewish.
Yeah.
That's a Jewish thing. But yet, how are you going to say that you're into the Kabbalah and call somebody an oven dodger?
Well, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I think people need to understand that every tradition has obey, which is spell magic. Every tradition has magic. Everyone. You have a choice to practice or not practice, and some people choose not to, and that's completely okay. But I think we have to be respectful of what that culture is, what the magic is, and then the spirits that are in that culture. I'm not going to go into Kabbalah and act like I know everything about it. I have not been called by any spirits. I have a few books on Kabbalah, and I think it's very interesting. But not once have I wanted to take a class to go deeper into it because I haven't been called.
Yeah.
So I can't turn a curiosity into a path. I'm curious and I love to read and research things, but it's not my path because I haven't been called. So we have to kind of sometimes understand that too. What's a curiosity and what actually is the path that you're supposed to walk?
Yeah, but I mean, at least you yourself, Tonya, are respectful.
I think you have to be. Spirituality is not a fad to me. When I awakened, my life changed. The way I saw things, the way that I do things changed. It wasn't like all of a sudden I woke up one day and it's like, oh, I'm going to wrap my head and start, dressing like a Romy. Because I most of the time, y'all, I do live in dashikis. I do.
Yeah, but they're comfortable.
And I do wrap my head because I like to protect my head. So, I mean, honestly, a lot of times what you see with me is actually the way that I present myself to other people around me. But it's because I actually went through a spiritual awakening. I haven't changed in the last 8-9 years that this happened to me. I haven't reverted back because it's not a fad. It's a way of life. My spirits and my connection are a way of life. I can't take everything. I can't take my shit off and be like, oh, I can't do it.
I'm done. Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. I know some people go back and forth, but I'm like you. I don't think she said it. I don't think that it's a real connection. Because if it was, you would be hungry for more. You would be hungry for more knowledge.
Exactly. I think when you step into the path and you truly open your eyes to it, all you can take in is knowledge because you want to reach a certain point. You want to reach an understanding, full immersement into what it is, that you're passionate about and what's, calling you.
Yeah.
It becomes intoxicating.
Yeah, it's like a thirst that has to be quenched, and when it just you have to keep,
And that's what religion too. It's not just a spiritual, it's with religion too. Lynna decided, I'm going to be a Jew. And she immersed herself into the religion. And she's going through her ceremonies and she's doing everything that she needs to do because she is hungry for the knowledge.
I'm so excited for you too.
Yeah, she's connected with her path. This is what she is drawn to. So I don't think it's just even about spirituality. I think when you're called to a path because there's a reason you're called, you follow the path.
Still like spirit. I feel like I still would say spirituality because I feel like people go on a path and they're not connected to it. They have no spirituality about it. Their spirit is not with it.
Ah, I get you.
That's true because you can go on a journey and take a hike in the woods.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
I mean, you have people who have been doing Christianity for years, but they're not connected to it. You have people that have been doing, even like they grew up in the ATRs, they're not connected with it, or be doing craft, they're not connected to it because that's not what they're
you're right.
So you see some people whose parents are coven leaders and they go to church because that's where their spirit called them. So it still ends up being their spirituality because that's what called them.
Yeah, that's true. I stand corrected. You're absolutely right. Interesting.
So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm very excited for, your path. And I think, personally me, when you get into your path and you're passionate about it, then the guides and everything else will start opening doors for you to expand and you to grow into it. And that's when you know that you're on the right path. For me, Christianity was not for me. Every time I would go, the door would close. But yet now I'm studying the Bible in a different way because that is connected to the path that I'm following in my spirituality and my craft. So when something really isn't for you, doors will close for it. If you try to force it open, you're going to be miserable. You'll find that it just is not for you.
Yeah. And vice versa too. When it is for you, sometimes, well, for me it was super easy. Super easy. I honestly thought I was going to have to do freaking college all over again, read all these huge thick books and go through these exams, but it was really easy.
I think that a lot of times that's when you know you're on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
because it shouldn't have to. It shouldn't have to be so hard, to connect. But sometimes you have to go through these ups, these downs, these ebbs and these flows until you find, where you're supposed to be. And sometimes where you're supposed to be for some people is very scary.
Yeah.
Well, I'm scared.
It's not.
I don't want to get naked, but
You gotta get naked. Oh, wait,
Yeah.
you have to go through that pool thing, the pool and washing off the old men.
The mix,
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
They
Don't
better
get naked.
close your eyes or wear sunglasses anyway.
Girl,
I don't
well, I
know.
can't talk. I've been naked in so many ceremonies. I don't even give a shit no more. I don't. Everybody don't see my ass. Everybody, spirit don't see my ass. The people in my family don't see my. It's just I don't even care no more. I don't. So, I get, and I think sometimes too that's part of the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because it's pushing. A lot of times when we do ceremony or ritual work,
Outside the comfort zone. Yeah.
there's a death so that there's a rebirth that happens.
Exactly.
And it
It's
can
the
be
killing
very
of the old
painful.
man.
Yeah. But you need that. You need sometimes to shock the system, to reboot it so that you can see things. And we've all experienced that in different ways. We all have. But I think it's one of the things that it's a testimony to who we are, that we continue to still walk the journey. Even though we have been challenged in different ways, we still continue, and that's the spirit connection.
Yep.
I think it's a great connection when you find the connection and it sits with you. It's a lot of people, they talk about the awakening. Don't get it confused. It's not like butterflies and unicorn shits. It's definitely uncomfortable. When you first step, I mean, and even after you step onto the path, you could be in there for 7, 10, 15 years. You're going to have your moments of discomfort.
Oh yeah. You can actually give yourself IBS.
But that's because you have to shed the parts of you that that you can no longer take onto the next journey with you.
Yep.
So we lost her. We've all been lost once.
Right? We got to find our way. But I have to take Taylor's class here in a few minutes. So I guess we can go. We've been on for an hour and a half. So we've had a good talk. And I'll put a post up later today in the group. Let me get the group link just in case somebody here isn't in the group. Let me find the link for you guys so you can come and join, because I'm going to post a poll later today for next week's topic. Here you go. So yeah, if y'all want to join the group, we'll approve you. You got to have your Facebook page or profile more than 4 days, though. I'm not going to do all them people.
Nika said, let's discuss the cobwebs, but I don't know what cobwebs.
Oh, yeah, I talked to her about that last night. Nika, I'll call you later because I got to get Taylor to class. Because Taylor's going through her own confirmation, too. She's got to do her own ceremony. All
right. Well, you guys have a good night. Well, you guys have a good day. For me, it's nighttime.
Right.
I'm like, it's like 11 o'clock almost. You guys have a good day. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy spending time with your family. And I will see you guys. Well, we'll see you guys next Sunday, right?
Yes, we'll be here with bells on.
So be blessed, guys.
All right. Love you guys bunches. Bye-bye.
Bye.